Kevin Kietzman's here to wrap up the week on KCMO. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Pete. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. You think you could do a 3,000-mile bike ride across the country like Patrick McGarry?
I'm not sure I could do 3,000 feet, but maybe.
Oh, that's great. I got you for 3,000 yards. I think you'd be great. I know that you're I didn't know you were such a Bob Seager fan when he brought that up as his starting song.
Seager's great. My buddies in high school and college really, really loved him and used to go see him and stuff, and I wasn't that big of a fan, but he's one of those guys that as I've gotten older, his songs just mean more and more and more. They've got a lot of conservative American tones to the lyrics that I just love, and we went and saw him many years ago at T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. This maybe was like 15 years ago. It was the first time I saw him, and I wasn't expecting much because he's older than I am, so at that time he was maybe 60 or something. I don't know. I didn't expect much. It was unbelievably great. And there's nothing better than going to a concert that you're like, you don't have high expectations, and you walk away. He had like 15 people on stage. He had brass. It was just incredible, and the dude could just flat out sing. It was really, really good. Roll Me Away, controversially, I believe is his very best song. I don't think it's close.
Well, that's how Patrick McGarry said he's starting his ride in San Diego. And that sounds Springsteen-ish with the big band, the brass up there.
Yeah.
I know you guys hate hearing that, but it does sound that way to me. John, were you there?
Yeah, very much. I didn't go to that show, but I've seen him several times. Bob was a little bit older when he broke into the game. He looks like a younger man, but he is older. Very much like Kevin's saying, Alto Reed, the sax player, was very much a part of the show, and the whole horn section went with the rock and roll, and Bob's from Detroit, and it's all very Midwest, so we all related here in the Central Time Zone.
How about that? He's 80 years old now.
Yeah, I told you he was older than me. Yeah, a lot older than me. So he was more than 60 when I saw him.
Wow. Yeah. Gosh, dang. Good for him. Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's going to be a great weekend. We got amazing weather across Kansas City. We've got great college basketball. I heard your take the other morning when you said you think the college basketball regular season is in some ways better than March Madness. And at first I was like, Kevin's nuts. But then I kind of came around because the best of college basketball is because of the venues. And Allen Fieldhouse on Monday was, to me, the best regular season basketball game I've maybe ever seen, with the drama, no Peterson, undefeated Wildcats, Bill Self 40-0 at home on Big Monday. I came around on you there, Kev. I thought that was a great take.
I like that, and it's not just Allen Fieldhouse. I mean, you can take the worst teams. I just pick a bad – well, K-State's the easy, obvious bad team to choose because there hasn't been very many moments this year. But typically, like a non-tournament Kansas State team, there's 10 nights a year that Bramlage Coliseum is a blast, a lot more fun than T-Mobile Center at the Big 12 tournament, which is the most overhyped sporting event in Kansas City history. It's great that everybody gets to go party and hang out and do whatever, but most of the games are lifeless. Most of the times it's empty seats, well, because you're waiting for the Iowa State or the KU fans to come in for the next session. And ultimately, by the time you get to the championship game, nobody cares because they're all thinking about Selection Sunday. That begins the postseason. It's not that much fun. It's cool that we have it, but the Big 12 tournament ain't great. That's why they're using a glass court to try to get people to watch.
I am with you. The glass court thing is so ridiculous. But, I mean, would you say all of these conference tournaments are fairly sterile in nature?
Yes.
The Big 12 may be the best of the bunch, but, yeah, I agree. I think it's more about the conference tournament in general than it is maybe the Big 12 tournament. Fair?
Man, you go to Boise, Idaho in the regular tournament in one of those, noon games, and let's say Missouri is playing Santa Clara, there's like 700 people in the building.
Yeah.
The NCAA tournament is overhyped. We think of the great moments of the NCAA tournament when a 15 seed beats a 2 or something like that. And I've been at those games, and it gets crazy, and it's wild because everybody's rooting for the underdog, but you're not really rooting for your team. It feels kind of different, and there's still empty seats. There's almost no NCAA tournament games that are packed until the Final Four.
Well, Sweet 16, right? Sweet 16.
Yeah, but there's still session games. Kentucky fans, if they're the late game, they don't come in for the first half of the first game. They just don't.
That's a good point. I will say, I'm maybe showing my Villanova bias here, and it's probably not the case anymore. I haven't been in over 10 years to a Big East tournament, but the Big East in its heyday at Madison Square Garden, the heyday, older people will say it's the 80s. For me, it was 05 to 2015 before all the realignment stuff happened. Those were great scenes. Syracuse, UConn, Notre Dame, St. John's, Villanova, Georgetown. That was a scene.
No question. Yes, and I remember that well. Those were fantastic, and they were great athletic teams, and it mattered and it cared, and so many fans were on board with all of that. But, my thing is, I want to. If I go to a sporting event, I'll define it. Like baseball can't really replicate this until the postseason. There are no real moments. There's no games at Kauffman Stadium over the course of the year, even if the Royals are winning, where you're just on the edge of your seat the whole game. There may be drama in the ninth inning, or maybe somebody hits a grand slam in the fifth. There may be a moment, but you don't just sit there the whole game riveted to it. Arrowhead is better than the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not close. You know how many people at the Super Bowl are just rich people hanging out having cocktails?
Yeah, looking at their phones. Yeah.
Right. We went to the Phoenix Open last Saturday. You know, nobody watches the golf. There's 170,000 people out on the golf course. Nobody knows golf or pays attention. It's a really cool thing to go do, but it's not the Masters.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
That's a really good analogy. Great stuff. What do you got lined up for the weekend? KU Iowa State tomorrow. Who you got, by the way?
You know, Iowa State's not been playing well, but they're so good at home. They're a 5-point favorite in this game, man. I can't go against KU at any level at this point. They're showing me like they have something.
I'm totally with you. That's spot on. Hey, enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Thanks. I'm going to go buy a bike.
There you go. 3,000 yards. That's the over-under from Parlay Van Sickle in there. Have a great weekend. We are back Monday morning, 6 a.m. Kietzman Uncanceled is next.